they say you can't be put up against an entire enemy team. But are you sure about that? Well, this is an occasion that happens probably once in 50 or 100 matches. I mean, it's so rare. It doesn't happen. It just, in top tier, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in any tier, but the higher you go, the harder it is to face more and more people all together at once. Of course, nothing will be possible without this plane right here, the J7E. I think it's called Chengdu. Yeah, Chengdu. So this thing right here, it is a gem of a plane. Its energy retention, I mean, its acceleration, the rockets it carries, it's like, oh, it's godlike. The only downside of the plane is it has one gun only, and this gun has 60 bullets. I mean, if you get the hang of it, it's fine, but in top tier, where everything has, you know, Vulcans and all these stuff that has a shit ton of more ammunition than you, yeah, it is hard to aim. So I've taken the right path of the map here, and it's the flight path probably of the enemy team. Why I'm doing this? Because I like to put myself in city situations, and in order to test the plane's performance. And probably this one is the only one that no matter what you throw at it, it will be able to keep up, as you're about to see. I mean, I have no objection that you can do this as well with an MLD or an MLA or a J8B or a Kafir, but this thing right here, I mean, the wing shape of the wing shape it has, it offers that. You'll see. I'll just limit to the music and we'll discuss that later. We just survived that. And to be honest, all I had to do pretty much in this fight is try not to get disoriented, keep the speed up at all times, which this plane does very well, and make sure the flaps are always deployed, at least when needed. Of course, I forgot the rule number 1, which is call for backup. I did call for backup at the very first seconds of the entire dogfight, but nobody came. I mean, a Mirage comes in at some point right now, but nobody even bothered coming in to help me out. I mean, why help that one guy who was trying to make it out alive against half of the enemy team? Doesn't make any sense, right? Anyway, but it actually worked out very well for me, because if you see it mathematically, there had been 6 to 5 people from my team that were not being engaged by anyone. But that made me a little bit frustrated, to be honest, because even though that did happen, I mean, my teammates were still dying in the background. I thought at some point they're just all gonna die, and then the rest of the enemy team is just gonna come for me, but thankfully that did not happen. Anyway, nothing would be possible without this plane here. This thing, NATO name fish can, I mean, definitely this is not a fish can. This thing right here is probably, I believe, my favorite plane of 2022. The thrust to weight ratio, the wing shape I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I mean, these two things, let aside the 30mm, I mean, the 30mm is a downside because it's only one, it has so few bullets inside, but if you get the hang of it, it is very destructive. So this plane, how do you counter it? I mean, pretty much all you have to do is either stay away from it or make high passes. Well, because most J7E pilots, they understand they are maneuverable, they can do pretty much whatever they want, so they usually get into dogfights. And once somebody gets into a dogfight, he puts himself in a very dangerous situation, in a slow speed situation. Sorry. So first, this is where you can pretty much catch a J7E off guard. But remember, this thing has a few aces up its sleeve. This is why I like it. It retains energy very well. Even at low speeds, it can pretty much turn with everything. So you have to keep that in mind. These things can self-bait. I mean, it reminds me of meteors, because the meteors were the meteor, actually, the F Mark III, I think. It was my second starter jet, and I loved it. I loved it because it can pretty much do the same. It has, like this plane, very good initial acceleration. It has very good energy retention, which, as I said, it can self-bait, and sorry, it can pretty much turn like non-stop forever, which is what I like. But this is top tier. These things don't work in top tier, as you might expect. This fight right here, it was one of a kind. Why? Because if you try to turn against everyone in top tier, you will get obliterated. Sorry. So I have to tell you about 3 things you should follow in top tier, 3 basic rules that will help you and to stay alive in every match. Doesn't matter what match it is. Even though your team might get obliterated, you should be able, if you follow these 3 rules, to be able to get back to base and rearm, maybe J out, I don't know, live for another day, let's say. The first thing is, and what actually kept me alive in this dogfight, is speed management. All you have to do in top tier in the entire match is be damn fast. This is what these jets are capable of. yes, speed, but going straight after takeoff, that doesn't help you very much. So please either go right, learn to go right and maybe flank the enemy at times, or follow the bunch at the left. And remember, always keep your speed above 1100 kph. Most people, what they do is they fly straight after takeoff, maybe climb, cruise for a bit, and this is a great start example, to be honest, because you fly high. Your jets are made to fly high. Sometimes you just want to sneak a missile from high altitude. This is a very good tactic, by the way, but what they forgot to do is to keep their speed up when the initial dogfight starts. So that's why we have like dogfights in the middle of a map in every single match. Yes, the second thing I want to mention is trigger patience, and that has to do with keeping your speed up as well. Trigger patience means discipline. Discipline means you have to keep your speed up at all times and use it when you must or when you can. Of course, that depends on which plane you're flying. If you're flying a Phantom, of course you don't want to turn with everything. I mean, a Phantom is very capable turner, but only in a 2v1 or a 1v1, depending on its situation and which model you're flying as well. So speed is very important, so trigger patience is very important. You need to be patient when doing moves, because top tier, it might be easier, to get kills in top tier because you can do anything with the press of a button, but the easier it is to get kills, the harder it is for the defender, and I believe that's true. Third thing, and the most important thing, is what I'm doing right now. Your C key. Your C key, and let's call it the camera, sorry, is something actually too many people forget to use. Let's say you've just landed, you're in a 1v1, and you've taken off just like I did. But there was a chronicle difference between your landing and the enemy's landing. Let's say the enemy managed to land first and he's positioned above your airfield, but you forget to use your camera. I don't think I have to tell you what's going to happen next. And this is why your C key is very important. This is why it's very important to cover sorry, again, it happened again, come on. This is why it's very important to check all your blind spots at once. I know it may seem tiring, it may seem, how the heck you don't forget to do it. It's actually nothing. All you have to do is just get used to it. It's very important to check your 6. It's very important to check left, right, above, below you. You're flying a plane, man. It's not a tank that all you have to do is maybe just look around, or just an A. If you don't drive an AA either, all you have to do is look up or check your radar. Now you have RWR. There is no excuse for you that you actually died by a radar missile. There is no excuse for anything. The only excuse would actually seem is actually as understandable is that missiles don't render. I have died by unrendered missiles so many times, man, or maybe buggy or laggy ones. I don't care, call them however they want. Sorry, however you want, because of the server. Yeah, that's understandable, but you are in a very fast plane. You have insane speed, insane acceleration, and not just this plane, in every plane, and you get flares. All you have to do is pretty much learn to use the camera at all times. After your initial takeoff from the airfield, your initial spawn, let's say, do check around you at all times. It's very important. So many people die because they just forgot to check their 6. And come on, guys, it's just hilarious. You're flying top tier. Just be a little bit aware of the tier you're in. Anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. Hope you liked this. Hope you learned something from me. Hope you liked the plane itself. It's an amazing aircraft. By the way, I will be streaming on Trovo by next week, probably mornings, so I will keep informing you in the description below. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.